Yes, I know. Because I said, I go, I have meetings saying, no, I have meetings. I go, no, I do.
I said to him,
yeah, he probably already knew that, yeah. He's probably thinking it's a priority. Which I believe you have.
I was waiting for it to come back. Don't do it.
Yeah, I know it's her. You after your
serve beer.
I was gonna say.
But it's after the.
Yes, so I did. Oh, really?
I see those guys, I mean, it's fun to watch them because they play for like 75 cents.
He'll come home and say, "Here's a quarter." I'm like, oh.
I didn't know anything about it.
Times 100. No.
But,
I'd like to call the Tuesday, July 5th, 2016 council meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Alderman Santee.
Here.
Alderman Glab.
Here.
Alderman Schaefer.
Here.
Alderman Curry.
Here.
Alderman Wimmer.
Here.
Alderman Peterson.
here.
Alderman Condon.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The City of McHenry's mission statement is as follows. The City of McHenry is dedicated to providing its citizens, businesses, and visitors with the highest quality of programs and services in a customer-oriented, efficient, and fiscally responsible manner. First item on our agenda this evening is the public comment portion. No one has signed in this evening to speak to the council. Is there anyone here for that purpose? Seeing no one, then we'll move on to the consent agenda. Looking for a motion. Alderman Santee.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A, B, D, E, F, G, H, I, and pull item 3.
C.
Item C, to recuse myself because of a conflict of interest.
Okay, is there a second on that motion? Alderman Curry?
Second.
Okay, so the motion is to approve A, B, D, E, F, G, H, I. Any discussion, Alderman Santee?
I have no questions.
Alderman Glad?
Nothing.
Alderman Schaefer?
No questions.
Alderman Alderman Curry?
No questions.
Alderman Wimmer?
No question.
Alderman Peterson?
No question.
Alderman Condon?
No questions.
Please call the roll.
Alderman Santee.
Yes.
Alderman Curry.
Yes.
Alderman Condon.
Yes.
Alderman Schaefer.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Glab.
Yes.
Alderman Wimmer.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Looking for a motion then on item C. Alderman Schaefer?
I'll make a motion to approve the grand opening request for variances. Let me see where it's at here. As requested. Temporary use permit, I should say, sorry.
By Second Amendment Sports. Okay. Thank you. Is there a second? Alderman Peterson? Discussion, Alderman Schaefer?
I have no questions.
Alderman Curry?
No questions.
Alderman Wimmer?
Nothing.
Alderman Peterson?
I have no problems with this.
Alderman Condon?
No questions.
Alderman Santee? Oh, I'm sorry, Alderman Glab?
The only question I have is, it really wasn't very clear as far as what they're gonna have out there. I mean, as far as what is restricted, what is allowed, I mean, are we talking, in any way, shape, or form, any, artillery that would be out there?
No, actually, that was
on there.
I made a point to put that all the merchandise, and I think Mr. Erslinger can probably speak if I'm misspoken, but all the merchandise will be inside still. Outside basically is just food, activities for children, and no merchandise. Is that correct?
That's correct. We also have a band.
And the band, and that's the reason for the temporary use permit.
So, and again, it's just that sometimes what is proposed and then what is allowed because you passed it wind up to be.
Correct, yeah. Well,
That's why.
what was proposed was no merchandise outside, so that's what's being asked for approval.
Okay, so there won't be any merchandise out there, according to
Those, there may be shirts and hats that are outside, which we discussed at this point.
Actually, I think that's listed in there, if I'll pull it up. It says, I think that shirts would be the only thing, but as far as any sort of firearms or ammunition or anything, absolutely not.
Okay. That's all I have.
Any further discussion on that item? Alderman Condon?
Just for clarification, no alcohol, correct?
No alcohol.
And they will need a permit from the health department for any of the food?
They're using MJ Coffee Cater, and
So
they will be separately permitted through the McHenry County Department of Health.
sounds good, thank you.
Any further discussion or questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Schaefer?
Yes.
Alderman Peterson?
Yes.
Alderman Santee? Abstained? Alderman Condon?
Yes.
Alderman Curry?
Yes.
Alderman Glab?
Yes.
Alderman Wimmer?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Good luck with your open house. The next item on the agenda is a motion to approve, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I was asking.
She's asking me to quantify.
Oh, okay, sorry. The
No.
next item is a motion to approve a one-time waiver of the city's limit on 3 honorary street sign designations per calendar year policy, and approve a resolution establishing an honorary street sign designating the intersection of Reagan Boulevard and Lincoln Road as honorary Deputy Dwight D. Manis Way, with the condition that no more than one designation be awarded in 2017. Is there a motion on this item? Alderman Schaefer?
I'll make that motion that we approve this honorary street sign for 2016, and we designate only one more in 2017.
Thank you. Is there a second? Alderman Wimmer?
Second.
Discussion, Alderman Schaefer?
We had a good discussion on this at the committee level, and hopefully everybody else agrees with that.
Thank you. Alderman Curry?
I have no questions.
Alderman Wimmer?
This is one of the more deserving that we've had before the committee. And very rarely do we have a fantastic person, and this is terrific.
Thank you. Alderman Peterson?
Yes, I've read the minutes and I agree with the committee.
Thank you. Alderman Condon?
I think it's a great avenue for us to recognize people in our community who have done outstanding things, so I fully support this.
Alderman Santee?
I will also support this. I really think this deserves something even more than this, but I guess I'll leave it at that. I mean, I see the committee notes on it, the minutes, I read it. And it, it seems to me that this, this achievements, in regards to the deputy, I feel it, I'm comfortable with it, but I feel there should have been more than just a honorary sign, and that's what it.
Alderman Glab?
And I did not support this at committee, and I tend to feel right now that I probably will not support it tonight. I feel the same way as Alderman Santee had said, as far as the fact that something like this should be either Veterans Park, it should be a memorial of some nature like that. The street sign criteria, it really doesn't meet the criteria that we have in place right now. And that's the part I'm having a problem with. I'm sorry to say that I really feel sorry that the county didn't really jump in on this a lot more. It was a real travesty of what happened, and I think it'd be more recognizable than our Veterans Park than a street sign.
Well, I think the county and the state did recognize Deputy Manis in their way. I think that the intention of the honorary street sign program is more, I think the family will see this every time they enter and exit their subdivision where they live and where he lived. And I guess I feel like that's kind of what the intent of this was for our community to demonstrate to his survivors that we recognize the sacrifice that he made on behalf of our community.
And I understand that, Mayor. would think that what we need really to do then is we need to look at the criteria of what we have for street signs, and maybe that needs to be readdressed. So
Well, I
that
think
we
it
do
does
match,
meet
because
the-
there are things like this that happen, and
Right. Well, and I think, you know, one of the criteria is that he made a significant contribution or gesture on behalf of the community. He
Mhm.
certainly did.
And like I say, though, I would really think that we need to readdress the criteria then, because criteria needs to be opened up more than the way it's spelled out. And it was the first time we ever did it, and we had it, and maybe we just need to readdress that. That's all I got.
Thank you. Any further comment or conversation?
That was mentioned also at the committee level, and it will be on a future agenda.
Thank you. Any further comments? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Schaefer?
Yes.
Alderman Wimmer?
Yes.
Alderman Condon?
Yes.
Alderman Glab?
Yes.
Alderman Curry?
Yes.
Alderman Peterson?
Yes.
Alderman Santee?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The next item is a motion to award the bid to Curran Contracting Company of Crystal Lake, Illinois for 2016 street resurfacing program in the amount of $1,933,722.73. The actual amount may vary based on quantities used. Looking for that motion. Alderman Santee.
I'll make a motion to approve the award bid to Curran Contracting Company as presented.
Is there a second to that motion? Alderman
Second.
Curry. I flipped it. Alderman Curry, on Curran. Thank you. Discussion, Alderman Santee?
I'm very, very happy that we were able to put this amount of money towards our local streets. There's a lot out there that need it, and, you know, if we are able in the next few years to continue this, and we are in a catch-up position right now in regards to resurfacing, and I'm glad we're taking this amount, and in my book, jump-starting it.
Alderman Glad?
Well, I was the one that was really pushing to get more money for the street program. I'm really happy to see that. But what also, besides this proposal, what relates to me is the fact that staff has really come up with some significant changes in the way that we are maintaining these streets as well for the future, so that we will catch up a lot quicker, and a lot of our better streets won't fall apart while they're waiting to be repaved down in the future. So I applaud staff on this whole venture. Thank you.
Alderman Schaefer?
I know this has been asked before at the committee level and here as well, but the Ashley Drive portion, which was about $750,000 roughly, do we have more info on that yet?
Yes, we do. That came in considerably lower once we did soil borings. We are gonna remove all the curb on that street, but the subgrade was a lot better than we thought.
Okay, so then that amount gets pushed out to other streets? Okay.
That's why we could add, several alternates to the program, correct?
Great.
Alderman Curry?
Just a comment that others have made, that it's nice to see that we're able to put a significant sum towards the streets, and it's also nice to read, and I guess that was the reason, or one of the reasons, that we were able to actually essentially increase the number of streets after we got into the process here, so it was great to see.
Alderman Wimmer?
No question.
Alderman Peterson?
No question.
Alderman Condon?
No comment.
Further discussion, Alderman Glad?
Yeah, I just had a question. How soon are we looking at starting? And how much notice are we going to give our residents over there?
Well, Ben Hartman's here from HR Green. Ben was design engineer on that. We're gonna start sooner than later. I know Curran's ready to start as soon as possible. And we'll have a resident engineer from HR Green on site that'll be notifying the residents.
Yeah, and once the contract is awarded, we can set up the pre-construction meeting as soon as possible and get them going. I know we're trying to work around Fiesta Days. Obviously, that's very important. So that's also going to be noted and made sure that Curran is aware of all this information.
Okay. And again, more than anything, I just don't wanna wind up with having, the neighborhoods surprised at all the construction that's gonna go on in certain areas. Because we have so many streets that are tying in certain areas and all that, so.
We already have the website alert wrote up of what roads are gonna get done.
Right.
I was waiting for approval for it tonight before I put it on the website. So
Okay.
it's ready to go. It'll be on our website first thing in the morning.
Can we get a press release to the newspaper too, to make sure, every way, possible?
We also have a news release written too.
We had a newsletter coming out when, Mayor, do you remember?
We just had
Just
one.
did we?
Yeah.
Just had one,
So,
so, yeah, it's gonna be too late.
September.
Okay, I'm just looking at, so we were proactive on this. We're doing a great service for our residents, and I just wanna make sure that,
I don't think anyone on Ashley will argue with us.
no, I don't think so.
Usually the alderman goes door to door.
Okay. Good.
I don't have any streets this year.
Any
That's all I
further
got.
discussion? Oh, sorry. Alderman Glad. Did you have more, Alderman Glad?
No,
Oh.
that's it.
Any further comment or discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Santee?
Yes.
Alderman Curry?
Yes.
Alderman Condon?
Yes.
Alderman Schaper?
Yes.
Alderman Wimmer?
Yes.
Alderman Glad?
Yes.
Alderman Peterson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The next item is a motion to accept the proposal for a new radio dispatch system and authorize the execution of a radio dispatch system agreement with Radicom Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $391,535. John's?
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Council is being asked to consider staff's request to approve the purchase of a new radio dispatch system through Radicom Incorporated and authorize the execution of a purchase agreement that covers the cost, installation, and maintenance of this new dispatch system. The RFP was issued on the authority of City Council on May 17th, and upon the close of the bidding process in June, the city received 2 RFPs for consideration, one from Motorola and one from Radicom Incorporated. Each RFP was examined by the evaluation committee, which was made up of the chief of polices from the 3 partners from our new partnership. And the evaluation committee conducted an analysis based on the requirements that were set forth in the RFP. And the analysis confirmed that Radicom Incorporated was the choice. And therefore, we are asking for, if council concurs and is in agreement, that staff is looking for a motion to be made to authorize the execution of a radio dispatch agreement with Radicom as outlined in Exhibit E of Radicom's proposal. I believe we pulled that out of the entire proposal so you could see what that contract looks like in the amount not to exceed $391,535.
Thank you. Looking for a motion on this item. Alderman Curry?
Make a motion to award the bid and authorize execution of radio dispatch agreement with Radicom as attached in an amount not to exceed $391,535.
Thank you. Is there a second, Alderman Condon? Discussion, Alderman Curry?
I just had a question, just because I'm curious. Motorola, this is corporate Motorola that?
Motorola Solutions, yes.
Okay. I was just surprised that Radicom scored better than they did on meets and or exceeds requirement with minimal exceptions. Do you think Motorola would be?
Motorola's, the system that they put in is so because they own the Starcom network, their dispatch consoles are proprietary, and so then you have these other vendors, Harris, Zetron, which was the bid from Radicom. And when we sat down and we looked at the needs, so if you go through the section on the RFP that identifies specific functions that each workstation will do, actually Motorola had functions that they could not do that Radicom could do. And that's why they got scored a little bit lower in that category. And I think the chiefs were using like a quarter of a point per section. That was a critical thing.
All right, thank you.
Alderman Wimmer?
No questions.
Alderman Peterson?
I have no questions.
Alderman Condon?
Just a comment that it's great to see this moving forward, and I think all of McHenry should be very proud of our police department for spearheading this and getting this in our community. Looking forward to seeing it come to fruition.
Alderman Santee?
I have no questions.
Alderman Glad?
Can we just put in, and as expansions happen, I mean, is this going to handle the expansions for the future of any possibilities of more?
It is. Right now we're closing. We're going down to 3 PSAPs in the county. We're installing 9 workstations. We're primarily going to work out of 6 of those workstations, and 3 of the 3 existing workstations will be utilized as backups or for our appropriate partners, CCOM and the Sheriff's Office. And then the ETSB is actually going to fund the radio equipment that goes in those remaining stations for us. So we have the capability to expanding to 9 workstations at any given time from the 6 that we're going to utilize on a fairly full-time basis, so that prepares us for growth. At the same time, we're already going to grow to 16 agencies is what we're going to end up dispatching for when all the dust settles after May 1st of next year, which will make us the largest dispatch center in the county now. And I don't see any other movement shy of another law coming down from the state that says that there has to be another consolidation and another dispatch center has to close.
But if that were to happen, would we automatically have to use Radicom, or
No.
we'd still be able to go off RFP?
Correct.
Okay, that's all.
Alderman Schaefer?
I know we're responsible for this, the whole amount. Have the other councils approved? Because we're gonna invoice them, correct?
Correct. In the intergovernmental agreement that they signed, that we signed back in March, it covers that section in there, that once this equipment is bought, they will be invoiced. I believe it says within 45 days or 30 days, and that they will pay. They have so many days to pay their portion.
And those other councils have approved that agreement also, and out of the 391,535, our amount ends up being 183,238. Woodstock's 154,265, and Harvard's 54,032, based on the percentages outlined in that agreement.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
Those agreements.
Any further questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Alderman Curry.
Yes.
Alderman Condon.
Yes.
Alderman Glab.
Yes.
Alderman Santee.
Yes.
Alderman Wimmer.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Alderman Schaefer.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The next item is the mayor's statement of reports. Just like to take the opportunity to thank the McHenry area JCs, as well as congratulate our staff on another great fireworks show and very, very nice, well-run, very organized evening at Peterson Park. From what I heard today, the exit from the park was the smoothest it's ever gone, and everything went so well. So congratulations to Bill and to the police department and everybody on our side, and thanks to the JCs for another great event. This weekend, I think we don't have anything, and then we jump right into Fiesta Day.
Storm right now. Yeah.
Right, so enjoy this weekend, Bill.
I'm gonna try.
And that's all I have this evening. Are there any committee reports? Seeing none, any staff reports tonight?
No, the only staff thing that we were gonna report on, I sent out an email Friday night or Saturday to council to provide an update about the state budget impasse, and as you probably read or seen or heard, at this point there was a stopgap budget that was approved by the House and Senate, and it was signed by the governor. And the most important part of that for the city of McHenry is that it funds capital projects through the IEPA and IDOT for a full year, which includes the ability to move forward with the Bull Valley Current project, which I asked John about today, and that they'll be moving on that project here in the next few days or next week at the most. So we really didn't lose any time on that. Fortunately, it also funds the SRF loan. The money was there, as I kind of put in my update to council last week. The money was set aside for us or earmarked for us in that loan fund. However, without an IEPA budget to process those loan payments, we couldn't have access to the money. So it was important that the IEPA receive an appropriation so that they could process that money and get it back to us in the form of reimbursement. So fortunately, we did not have to have a discussion tonight about when we would be stopping the wastewater treatment plant consolidation project with the stopgap budget, at least for the next year. We'll be able to submit our invoices for reimbursement on that project and continue moving forward. So, but as usual, we'll continue to monitor the state budget throughout the year and see where we're at when they start these discussions next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other staff reports? No? Any future agenda items?
I'm sorry, Mayor, I had one question,
Alderman
follow up
Schaefer?
to
Sorry.
Derek. Derek, does that have an effect on the Pearl Lincoln Road? Wasn't that a 2017 one as well?
We're working on phase 1 and phase 2 engineering that we're 100% responsible for anyway, so it didn't affect that.
Okay.
I will be asking for advanced funding from the Surface Transportation Program to do that in 2017. It's depending on that.
Okay.
So it wouldn't necessarily have this year, but in next year's budget, especially if the council of mayors approves advanced funding out of the STP fund, and we go through the capital improvement program budget and budget that as a project and rely on that money, then this time next year, it could be impacting that project.
Thank you.
Anything else? Any future agenda items? Seeing none, oh, I'm sorry, Alderman Glad?
I just wanted to make a comment about what you said about the fireworks.
Mhm.
And that's just the fact that, talking to a lot of residents about last year's, they were really mesmerized at how great it was last year. And you're right, this year, fireworks was tremendous, besides the operation of everything. JC's, when they went out for proposals or whatever, but like I said, it was a fabulous fireworks. For me, that's usually.
I know, I'm really happy to hear you say that.
So I just wanted to bring that up, and I hope
Thank
next
you.
year will even overdo that.
Thank you. That was nice to hear. Any other future agenda items? Seeing none, looking for a motion to adjourn. Alderman Condon?
So moved.
Is there a second? Alderman Santee?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Alderman Condon?
Yes.
Alderman Santee?
Yes.
Alderman Glad?
Yes.
Alderman Schaefer?
Yes.
Alderman Curry?
Yes.
Alderman Wimmer?
Yes.
Alderman Peterson?
Yes.
Motion carried.